Hey guys, Dylan from the Geek Duo here, and today I'll be bringing you my reaction to Ahsoka Season 1, Episode 2, titled Part 2 Toil and Trouble. Ahsoka and General Harrison Dula travel to New Republic shipyards and make an unexpected discovery. Now, I don't know what this unexpected discovery was. Also, don't know why I went very Aussie with that sentence, but I could hear it, which means you probably could as well. But yeah, as you could probably tell from that, I am recording this on a different day, and that means that Disney Plus actually has the titles up. Also, I've just started this recording, and one of my neighbors apparently chose this time to mow their lawn. So you may hear that throughout the video. I can't really change that, obviously. So yeah, we're all just gonna have to deal with that. Anyway, let's get this started in three, two, one, go. Why are the subtitles on this so much higher than in Clone Wars? Because I haven't noticed it touching the top of the screen in Clone Wars. Do do you think she had to shave her eyebrows off for this, or did they CGI it out? Because like, there's definitely nothing under those markings. Oh yeah, I watched the breakdown for episode one from New Rockstars. I don't know how I completely missed that these were all red in the last one. And so that was Chopper and the new Inquisitor. I did notice Hu Yang in the first one. I just didn't point it out because I've got no experience with that character. I can sense the turmoil within you. Also, another thing I want to know: are the head things practical? I was wondering that about Hera, but that wasn't a passive aggressive one. You've told her that there's a second droid, which means she can probably salvage the memory banks, see if it saw. Hmm. So this seems to be where a majority of, well, this planet seems to be the majority of the trailer shots, just from my assumptions, because we've seen several of this location, several that look to be in those trees, which means that very little of those trailers are going past this episode. I can't get over its legs. They just do not look right. Yeah, I just scratched this. Why is it itchy again? So she's got artistry, technical knowledge, and a map cracking or code cracking ability. Was it the double voice in the last episode? Hmm. So they've been working right under your nose. You know, for a droid that's supposed, well, apparently, a couple of thousand years old, he moves surprisingly fluidly. Show me what you got. I don't know why that made me think of that, but hmm. I see the grain. Boom. Oh. Hmm. Got some longitude and latitude lines. Well, technically that's only, what is it? Latitude is the one that goes around. Time and space, eh? Hmm. Scion sounds like it's the name of something. Hmm. You know, I've been watching so much Clone Wars lately. I have a knack for knowing when my recording's getting to about 20 minutes long. Because I just looked it over and it's usually pretty much every recording now. When I look over, it's like 18 to 21 minutes. I don't know why, because normally they're like 25, but I also, the looking over is because I expect it to be almost done. And I'm just checking that there's time before the credits, but oh, this is my first introduction to Chopper. I can understand that. As in, I can understand his comment. I am more inclined to engage in political. Um, well, that's vague. Well, perhaps that is part of the reason why you got stabbed. Were you just lightsaber construction, or do you know? Hmm. Does he know how to train, or is it just the construction? Hmm. I feel that. That's actually how my mum feels about me sometimes. I point out flaws in her arguments, and she's like, "Why do you have to do this to me?" Yeah, they were giving him shifty looks. Mainly only that guy in the back that. Macro. That's also probably a name, a reference to something. Really? They did the unclipping of the cape trope? You know, I'm gonna flip that over so I don't keep getting distracted. Something that's always been unclear to me. The Force can pull things to you and push it away. Can it pull you towards something? Like, could she have used the Force to grapple onto the hyperdrive engine? Okay, so why can I semi understand what Chopper's saying? We actually got the spinny. Now, are we going to get the flying eventually? It's probably been a long time since Ahsoka's seen a ship like that. You know, I was not expecting an alien cat to sound exactly like an Earth cat. What's the insignia on this pauldron? Like, this one's the Republic. What's... Hmm. There's some Mando motifs. And slice. Hmm. 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 They even put the hood up and everything. Trust me, I've seen the ending scene of Rebels enough times on New Rockstar videos to know how similar this is. And she's just sliced off all her braidable hair. What the hell are they constructing? It's a warp ring of some sort, but... Okay, well, we know someone who appears in this room. There are so few. Who could actually be considered a Jedi at this? Okay, so the scenes I was talking about are coming in the next episode, okay. Or likely coming in the next episode, I guess. Well, that doesn't help me. Because I wanted to see who that officer was. He looked familiar. Peter Jacobson. No, not seeing anything so far. Interesting. Voiced a car called Acer in Cars 2. I don't remember what car that is, so it's not going to help me. Also isn't going to help me with why he looks familiar. No, absolutely nothing there. Okay, so... See, Balin is an interesting character because... How did he go down the path that... I assume we're going to get his backstory or whatever. He's old enough to have known Anakin, because Anakin was only, what, like 50 odd when he died? Well, Vader, whatever. And this guy looks to be a touch older than that. So he would have been a Jedi, probably a Jedi Knight, when Anakin was training. Then again, this is several years after that, so may have been slightly below Anakin, may have been equal level, don't know. It's interesting that he managed to survive this long as a Force wielder out in the galaxy. It's amazing how he didn't get recruited as a Inquisitor. Then again, he does seem to be into the more spiritual side of the Force, whereas the Inquisitors seem to be the combat side, from what very little I've seen of them. So, then again, we haven't seen him do any, well, much. We saw him do his Vader walk down the hallway, but that was still very passive, if you will. So we haven't seen him actually in a proper battle. And it's weird that he's working alongside an Inquisitor. First off, Scion. Scion, an imaginary place considered to be perfect or ideal. Zion with a Z, utopia. Fictitious place, imaginary place, mythical place. A place that exists only in imagination, a place said to exist in fictional or real. Okay. Well, that does work with what she's envisioning. She's going to use this Eye of Scion as a massive warp ring for. I'm assuming it's going to go to where Thrawn is, and then they're going to hook the. He was in a destroyer when he was taken, yeah? They're going to hook that into the ring to get him out of there. And it will bring a new order to the galaxy, which they would see as the ideal place. So the Eye of Scion is the basically you're looking into paradise. Okay, that makes sense. Ahsoka, Inquisitor, Marek. Well, apparently this is not the first time that the name Marek is brought up in Star Wars, because apparently that was the name of Embo's Anuba. Right. Oh, right, I've heard that theory for a while, but Sir Marek, A Tale of the Days of King Arthur. I'm going to look into that and be back in a sec. Okay, so you know how I said I'd seen that theory just vaguely talking about? You know, the name of Marek does sort of leak credence to it. I'm just going to read out the entire passive. In the list of knights who attempt to the healing of Sir Ari, Mallory includes Sir Marek, the good knight that was betrayed by his wolf, and he made him for he made him 7 year a werewolf. Basically, betrayed by his wife, betrayed with his wife, and made him a werewolf. Like many authors, uses Mallory to tell a tale that goes far beyond the plot and the character. Marek is an honourable knight who serves first Uther and then Arthur. For the former, he drives robbers, witches, and warlocks and wolves from Belgrane, and then becomes its lord. When he joins Arthur in his continental wars, he designates Irma, a learned woman, to govern them. But she is of the council of Morgan Le Fay, and proves to be a self-serving ruler who turns the land back to its former savagery. When Marek returns, Irma uses a spell to turn him into a wolf, But even in this form, he does all he can to restore order by slaying wolves, driving off witches and warlocks, and battling robbers. Ultimately, he turns himself back into human, and she escapes by turning herself into an owl. But basically, it's a knight, an honourable knight, who meets someone, a learned woman, who turns out to be a witch of the Council of Morgan Le Fay, Morgan Ellsworth, and is then turned into something they are not through a magic spell. Okay. Assuming that is... Also, that's another wolf motif. Like, there's something called the Marek werewolf. Who is the Marek is a simple term given to Charles's father Bran, who is the head of all the North American werewolf tribes. I don't know what that is extract from, but yeah. The Marek who ruled all the wolves. Apparently this one is linking back to Star Wars, even though I'm completely off that track through the search. It says, in the Clone Wars, the bounty hunter Embo had a pet wolf named Marek. The name comes from the Arthurian legend, so that is directly linked. Okay. So it would seem that all signs point to yes for that theory. If that theory is true, I'm not going to spoil what could come up in this show. If it is revealed to be true, I will say, yes, this is a theory. If it is not, I will say, okay, this is what the theory was. Well, they've been very particular about the names that they give. Because there's the two wolves on the mural. There's Skull and Hati, which are two wolves. There's Marek, which is a wolf. A werewolf, really. There is apparently some connection between Ezra and wolves. So the wolves are very important to this show. I haven't actually seen, sort of tangentially related to this, but I haven't actually seen anyone try and decipher what looks to be runes in the credits. I don't know if they're like genuine runes or if they're just approximated runes. Like, they're not real, but they're just made to look like they are. Runic alphabet. See if I can just... Yeah, no, those... Okay, so it's an alphabet that is made to look runic, but is not actually. I'm sure there's a way to decipher it. And, well, I'm expecting there to be other channels to actually go into that, because I've never been good at ciphering, so yeah. Anyway, definitely some things to think about based on the names that we were given in this. there is Path to Peridia. I've just remembered that that is what they called the star map. Peridia. Well, that doesn't help me. That just tells me what I already know. Peridia was an extragalactic location in the universe where Imperial Grand Admiral Thrawn, I don't know how to pronounce his full name, was banished to. Now remember, all of Wikipedia is done in past tense because it's a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. So apparently, Peridia is a genus of moths. I don't think that's appropriate to this. Yeah, all it's coming up with is either moths or Jedi, so I don't think that's an actual name. It may be a similar name to something, but don't know. I forgot what led me onto that, so I'm just going to say it's definitely an entertaining episode. One thing that this is showing, and this is something that I've thought with Star Wars lately, is they're definitely leaning more practical than some of the sort of middle. Like, don't get me wrong, the prequels, for all the CGI they had, they also had practical effects, and they attempted to use CGI in some cases to enhance it, which is what it's for. Other times they just use CGI to replace everything, and that is its own thing. Like, I'm under the belief that it looks the best when you use practical and then you enhance it with CGI, which is what Star Wars is doing, at least with this. Like the loaf cat, you can see that whenever they close up on it, it's an actual puppet. Sure, the more extravagant movements, like it's quick hopping up on tables and everything, is probably a CG model, but the close up is it's a puppet, and then they probably touch it up with effects. Rosaria's headpiece, it's probably practical, and they touch it up with CGI. And that's one of the big things that has gotten Marvel flack lately, is because they use a lot more CGI. Sure, they've got the same parent company, but they use different studios. Well, Star Wars does most of its stuff in house apparently, so there's also that. But yeah, so that is one thing I'm noticing and really enjoying with this. Because if you remember, I think it was season 2 of Mandalorian, may have been Book of Boba Fett, where they led more into CGI over practical enhancements, and it didn't really go that well. Whereas in the latter half of season 3 of Mandalorian, it was definitely more noticeable when they brought all the practicals back, and I think they learned that they work best when they do that. And I've been enjoying seeing that. Something that most people won't notice, as I've said before, I'm in a tech uni. So I'm working alongside people doing animations both 2D and 3D, and the ways in which CG is applied to both of those. And yeah, so I now have a little bit of an eye for this. I'm not going to pick up most things, but yeah. I'm interested to know how much of her own stunts does Rosario do? Ahsoka. How much of the stunt work is Ahsoka star Rosario Dawson trained 14 hours a week to recreate the acrobatic combat style and stunts performed by the titular character. Okay, so I'm assuming at least some of what we see is genuinely her. Nice. That's... Why did I want to know that again? I've just come off a 9-hour shift not long before starting this. I'm a little muddled up there, so I'm just going to end this one here. I'm starting to jump, so I'll catch you in the next one.